So business analysis. This class might need to take some, it take a longer time, but we should be rounding up around 1 o'clock. And then afterwards, we'll go for a long break and then return for the afternoon section, okay? So in case you need to view this particular class on YouTube, you could find it on our YouTube page, okay? So you can find the YouTube link here. I am posting that right now. So, okay, so if in case you need to view the program on YouTube, please use the link displayed there to view the program. All right, so we are going to look at the management essentials, look at transforming the business. Then we'll look at vision and planning, commitment to quality standards, leadership, decision-making, finance, marketing, communication, and information technology. All right, now by default, every business has about 9 building blocks. Every business has about 9 building blocks. So we have things like value proposition, key activities, key resources, customer relations, customer segments, channels. Then we'll look at marketing and sales. Then we'll also look at key partners and some other components of business. And each of these components of business provides us with a guide on how to manage the business. You don't manage one aspect of the business and feel like you've managed the whole. Or you don't know about just an aspect of the business and you say you know the whole. All right, so importantly, we are going to go through all of this and then understand how we can manage these businesses. It has been exemplified and the standard has been created for us to understand that whether we are here on career basis looking for a new knowledge to advance our career, or we are here for the management consulting certification to help us advance our management profession, whichever one you hear, there has been a standard that has been created to help us understand that emotional intelligence is important for both parties, right? In the same vein, we also want to establish now that understanding the business is also very, very important to us, be it as emotional intelligence expert or as management consultant. Understanding businesses are very, very important. So we will look at all of this as we proceed. I trust everyone could see my screen very well. I trust everyone could see my screen very well. Please, if you could see my screen very well, please, I will need you to type 22 in the chat room. You could see my screen very well. I will need you to type 22 in the chat room. If you can see my screen very well, I will need you to type 22 in the chat room. All right, thank you. Okay, so let's begin with this introduction. By introduction, we'll have, or perhaps just for the sake of listening, I'm possibly going to skip through this and then I will start from here. Because of time, I'm just going to skip through those introduction and start from here. Now, what are the essential components that we need to consider in business analysis? What are the essential components we need to consider in analyzing our businesses? We need to consider things like vision and planning, commitment to quality leadership, business decision-making, finance, marketing, communication, and information technology. So all of these are things we are going to be looking at all through this class. So the first thing is vision and planning. Of course, every business that intends to be sustainable, any business that intends to be sustainable and must have continuity advantage, must have vision, because vision inspires and vision empowers and vision generates the support needed to keep driving. All right, so vision inspires, empowers, and generates support. Vision summarizes what the organization wants to be. Vision helps in building strategy. Strategy creates efficiency among individuals and acts as a tool for implementing the plan. So without vision, there will be no strategy. Okay, and without vision, it is difficult to know whether the organization is moving forward, moving backward, moving sideways, or the likes. So vision gives us the straightforward blueprint on how an organization should go. All right, so vision, it is that part of business that gives business that inspiration, that motivation, that passion to keep striving. All right. So, like I say, vision also helps in developing strategy, of course. Okay. Without strategy, businesses cannot advance. All right. Okay. Then another important thing we need to consider is commitment to quality. Commitment to quality. In establishing the fundamentals of management consulting today, we're able to categorically state that every business must have a value proposition, or as consultant, we must have value proposition, or as career persons, we must have value proposition. All right. So whether you're a consultant or a career person, all of us have value propositions, okay? Because when you get to an interview, the question of always, what are you bringing to the table, is an indication of the fact that you have some value that you are proposing to the organization you are going to be working with. All right. So achievement of quality should be a part of company's vision. Quality can be achieved through published quality statement, which conveys the standard quality level to be achieved. All right. So it's important we pay attention to quality, and all of those things we wrote down in value proposition, be it as a value proposition as to what we are bringing into the organization, or value proposition as to what we are consulting to bring in. We must commit to those value propositions as to make sure that they are being delivered effectively and efficiently. Then the next thing we consider there is on leadership. The tone for human relationships in an organization is set up by leaders. Employees become inhibited if a leader sets a poor example. The motivation and morale of employees will get affected. And that's why we must be emotionally intelligent leaders, so as to have a well-motivated workforce to work with us. All right. Okay. Then the next one we look at there is on decision making. Good decision makes way for an organization's viability. Decisions should be taken considering the overall picture. The decision-making style influences the entire organization. Now, it has also been established that decision-making is a key aspect of consulting. And it has also been established that to make effective decisions, we must be emotionally intelligent to make decisions. So whichever dimension, we must have to be emotionally intelligent to be able to make intelligent decisions. Okay, very, very important. Then another aspect of business that needs thorough analysis is on finance. Strong financial fundamentals should be the base for companies' visions and plans. The finance manager should have good communication and people skills to work with non-finance managers. Then on marketing, which is a very critical aspect of business, marketing represents a coherent and positive image of an organization to third parties. Correct data available should be taken as the base for marketing plans. Marketing plans as regarding to how are we going to develop our products, what is the customer survey going to look like, feasibility studies available, or information from feasibility studies available, and then considering the market demands, changes, and all of that should be able to help us put up good marketing decision, and then put up good marketing strategy that will help us. And also considering competitors analysis, or doing a good competitor analysis and industry analysis will also help us come up with good marketing decisions and strategies that will help us propel forward. Then another important aspect, another essential aspect of every business is communication. Business communication refers to both personal and organizational level. Good communication is essential to keep relationship intact and benefit the business. And then finally, we'll talk about information technology, which has gradually become the centric for organizational operation in today's business. All right. So every one of us should learn about information technology as a very veritable tool for business sustainability and business continuity. All of us are connected from different locations just to attend a class today because of what? Information technology, right? So businesses should, as much and as fast as they can, start integrating IT, information technology, into their business operations. Okay, if you really want to strive in this present era we are, especially strive and at the same time cut costs and maximize profit, then information technology is a very good way of advancing. All right. Now, there had been some demands from some people, especially those who have not met us before. They'll be like, okay, so I want a physical training now. Okay, no problem. Our physical trainings, if you want to attend a course in management consulting, physical training is 120 and 150 respectively for associate and for senior. The same thing applies to emotional intelligence. 120 for associate and 150 for senior. All right. Okay. So if you are using an IT, you could have gone a long way in cutting costs. So what senior is paying for 85 outside the class, they pay, or outside IT, they pay 150. And what associate is paying for 65 outside the class, they pay 120. So IT has a way of reducing costs, okay, and maximizing, making businesses flexible, making customers comfortable wherever they could be connecting from. If you actually check the influence of IT in the business world today, they've actually done more good than harm. So today we'll talk about e-commerce, we'll talk about e-classrooms like what we're having here. We'll talk about websites, we'll talk about emailing and all of that, just for the purpose of ensuring that business is done flexibly and done effectively and efficiently. So if you've never had to consider IT as part of business makeup, then you have to make it part of the critical assignments to make IT one of the critical considerations to include in your business. All right, so quickly, let's look at transforming the business. Transforming the business. Successful businesses have 5 features in common. These companies are led by visionary and enthusiastic leaders. They know their customers. They unlock the potential of their people. They deliver products that exceed their customers' expectation and continuously introduce differentiated products and services. All right. So let's bring it down to what concerns us here today. As an emotionally intelligent person, as a consultant, we made one statement that before any product is developed, make sure you have 2 sides. There must be an emotional side, and there must be the active side, or the direct benefit sides. All right. In the same way, we've also established that for leaders to actually drive the organization, they must be emotionally intelligent. And for you to actually be a consultant, you must be a leader. I need us to understand all this relationship. For you to be an effective consultant, you must be an effective leader. And for you to be an effective leader, you must be emotionally intelligent. All right. So all of the things talking about being visionary and being enthusiastic, they are all in the domain of emotions. All right. They are all in the domains of what? Emotions. So we need to understand that. Also, talking about knowing our customers. Emotionally intelligent people find it easy to identify their customers and then get to know them, and then have propositions that will serve the need and suit the needs of those customers. In the same way, for you to be an effective consultant, you must also have to understand the emotions of customers as to be able to build value propositions that will suit those things that concerns them. Most often, customers get to display their needs via emotions. All right. So the communication they do through emotion should be a very important tool in helping us identifying what the problems, and then being able to develop values or develop solutions to what their needs could be. So for organizations to thrive, they must be able to know their customers. And another important thing to know here is that emotionally intelligent people unlock the potential of their people. For every time we have trainings, we have quite a number of companies sending their staff to be trained. And that is to tell you that those kind of organizations, they might not be $100 trillion company, but they value their staff. Okay, they value their staff. And part of the assignment, please note, part of the role of management consulting is education, right? I need us to understand where this relationship are coming from. One of the important role of management consulting is education. And what is education in this case? To help explore and identify the potentials available within your client base, and then being able to help your clients and their staff maximize their opportunities. So as a consultant, you must also pay attention to what? To helping your clients identify the potentials around their market, around their human resources, and then being able to utilize all of that and integrating them to form good and veritable tools. Okay, then another important thing is that emotional intelligent people and effective management consultants deliver products that exceed customers' expectations. We talked about creativity as a benchmark for thriving, be it as career or as a consultant. Then continuously introduce differentiated products and services as a way of innovation, okay, as a way of keeping up with the pace of change. All right. All right, then we'll have what we call the rule of two. The rule of two. Not every change requires extensive commitment of time and resources. The challenge is to identify those problems which affect the company as a whole, as opposed to those which impact just one part, and furthermore, determine which events are minor irritations and which present symptoms of serious trouble. The rule of two is one way to make this distinction. So in the rule of two, there could be positive or negative. There could be backward or forward. There could be up or down. There could be left or right. That's a simple rule of two. Okay, so there could be something positively affecting the organization, or there could be something negatively affecting the organization. That's a simple rule of two. So in the rule of two, your assignment is simple. Find out those things that positively affect the organization and keep doing them. And then find out those things that negatively affect the organization also, and then stop doing them. That's a simple rule of two. All right. Okay. When a symptom appears in only one department, then the problem is unlikely to have an impact on the whole organization. However, departments and people are so interconnected within a business that even a minor change could also have an effect on other areas. So what are the minor issues, and then what are the major issues? At the same time, what are the minor issues that could bring problems? All of these things need to be considered in the rule of two. All right. Now, what are the roles of internal consultants? Now, please note, in this case, you could be an internal consultant as a management consultant. You could be an internal consultant as an EI expert. Okay, you could be an internal consultant as a project manager. You could be an internal consultant in marketing. You could be an internal consultant in any other field. All right, so what are the roles of internal consultants? When a manager discovers symptoms of trouble, the first step is to see how they fit into the wider context of the company. The rule of two aids this process because it emphasizes the need to examine whether the symptom arises from more than one department or is the result of lack of more than one kind of management skill. Potentially serious problems need to be given extensive time and attention. And the best way to get this done is to find out those experts within the organization that are focused in those areas. Okay, that's the best way to find out what problems can be fixed, what problems are arising, and then how can they be found and fixed. That's where the internal consultants have their major role to play. Now, quickly, let's look at root cause checklist. Root cause checklist. It's important to know that as an EI, some of us could be here to start up their own EI consulting firms. Some of us could be here to start up their own management consulting firms. Some of us could be here to learn for career reasons, just to apply in our organization, maybe for promotion reasons or advancement reasons. That's why you're here. Some of us could be here because we want to use the certificate to travel to US, Canada, or any other part of the world. And whichever reason, I want us to get something. There is always a root cause to every challenge, right? There's always a root cause to every challenge. Now, if you're an EI specialist and you want to go into EI consulting, obviously you must always understand the root cause of emotions, because that is key. You want to go into management consulting, then you must find out the root cause of problems within the organization. All right, so the following are the steps which contribute to the discovery of a problem's root cause and to its eventual solution. You have, as a starting point, choose the management area with the maximum symptoms of the trouble. Ask yourself what information you need to understand the problem's underlying cause. Then through discussion, identify the key issues and discover hidden problems. Then work together to implement necessary changes. I'll repeat this again. As a starting point, choose the management area with the maximum symptoms of trouble. Ask yourself what information you need to understand the problem's underlying cause. Through discussion, identify the key issues and discover hidden problems. Then work together to implement necessary changes. Now, what are the challenge of managers? What are the challenge of managers? What are the challenge of managers or challenge for managers? Now, challenge for managers looking for sources of difficulty in the firm is a lack of objectivity. Lack of objectivity. Most often, we as consultants, please, when I say consultant, please note that I'm being generic, okay? I'm not being specific to management consulting or EI consulting. I'm being generic, okay? So part of our challenges, or one of our major challenge in consulting is lack of objectivity. We get to the subjective in consulting rather than being objective, right? So that makes most of the things we are supposed to find out as challenge being under the carpet. Why we keep looking on the carpet to find out what the problem is. All right. So it's a principle of logic that a person cannot be a part of a system and also stand outside it at the same time. There are other constraints as well. So objectivity tries to bring us to the fact that you need to take yourself outside of the system to be able to see the real problem. Sorry to make a little digression, but the problem with the problem with Nigeria as a case study is bad governance. The problem with Africa is bad governance. And the funny thing is, as soon as these people that are called politicians get into this same government system, they don't just seem to look at it the way they used to look at it. So as soon as they join the system, objectivity ceases and they become subjective. All right. So if we really want to solve problems, we need to be objective. We need to actually take ourselves out of the environment. When I say take ourselves out of the environment, I don't mean practically take yourself out of the environment. You need to take yourself out of, mentally take yourself out of the situation and try to look at it from an objective view. Try to look at it as an outsider. Try to look at it as though you are not part of the problem. And then try to look at it critically with an eagle view or eagle eye. Then you'll be able to find out what the challenge is. All right, so what are the other challenges for managers? We have pressure of time, division of responsibilities, specialties or specialist areas, habits, background biases, and all of that. So let's look at what each of them bring as a challenge for managers. For pressure of time, the urgency of priority assignment often leads to an oversight to important, but less obviously pressing tasks. So pressure of time can make us make priority go wrong, prioritizing tasks. If there is high pressure on tasks, especially if there is high pressure on tasks that doesn't really make the most of the impact, and there are high pressures on those, we're going to actually end up focusing on those tasks and not leaving the tasks that have most of the importance to play. All right, so pressure of time could be a challenge for managers. Then we have divided responsibilities. When more than one person is responsible for a single department, tasks can be overlooked and an assumption made that someone else is taking care. Yes. All right. So that could just be a challenge on its own. And that is also to talk about delegation. All right. Understanding delegation, what to delegate, when to delegate, how to delegate, whom to delegate to, and for what purpose are we delegating? All right, that's also very, very important. Then specialist areas, expertise and specialized interests can limit awareness of other business values. They will have habits. Being tied down to a fixed routine can result in a bias against change. Yes, being fixed in particular behaviors or habits can resist change. All right. They will have background biases also. When the majority of the managers share common background experiences, they can also share mistaken beliefs about management needs. All right. So we need to pay attention to all of these things if we must be very good in meeting up with our consulting expectations. Now, one of the reasons we are taking these courses, the general classes, this is actually the first time we're having those of us in EI take part of consulting as part of the curriculum for our courses. Yes. We've said this over and over again. So far, so good, as it were in Nigeria right now. IPM is the leading institution when it comes to producing professionals in emotional intelligence. Yes, you could have workshops, you could have seminars on emotional intelligence, but so far, so good, IPM is the, maybe for now, as we know now, is the only institution in Nigeria that offers certified emotional intelligence professionals course. We are the only one for now. And that makes a whole lot of assignment on our own head, on our own side, to make sure that we continuously innovate, we continuously improve on the content being delivered. Because as it were, emotionally intelligent people, or for us bringing up emotional intelligence, we are not just looking at it as a career assignment only. We're also looking at it that people will, in some time, wake up to the reality of EI consulting. EI consulting is a general norm in most developed countries. But in Africa, to even talk about EI in the workplace is rare, much more of talking about EI consulting. So EI is a growing concern in the African context, right? It's a growing concern in the African context. And that's why we had to take all the whole length to get all the affiliations and all the accreditations needed to make sure that whatever certification you get in this institution, you get to have recognition, be it within Nigeria or outside Nigeria. So when we talk about consulting here, we are talking to EI professionals, knowing that fully in the nearest, shortest time, they are going to be the ones to take the banner of EI consulting, all right? And then we're talking about management consulting, all right? Management consultancy is everywhere around the world, but we're also creating some unique set of people who have balanced background when it comes to consulting, all right? What do I mean by balanced background? Having balanced background in knowledge, having balanced background in expertise, having balanced background in skills, in competencies, in all of those whole bundles joining together. Those things we are all bringing together will help us eliminate most of these background biases. Like someone was asking this morning, he said, when is the course for international management consulting started? Because he felt like, okay, as an international management consultant, I don't think I should be dealing with emotional intelligence. I don't think that one concerns me. I should be focusing on, no. So we are providing a balanced curriculum that will help us have quality people as consultants, be it as a management consultant or EI consultant or project consultant or HR consultant or whichever consultancy you want to delve into. All right. Okay. Okay. So what does it really mean to be objective in this context? What does it really mean to be objective? So we use the helicopter viewing as a simple strategy. So when you enter a helicopter, do you notice that when you enter an aeroplane, let's use an aeroplane for a case study. When you enter an aeroplane, you don't really look up, you look down. How many of us will agree with me on that? When you are flying on the air, you barely look up. You actually look down, okay? Or if you've been in an aeroplane and you have much attention looking up, maybe you could help me know. But most of the people that actually enter an aeroplane, as soon as the plane is moving up, most of us keep looking down till when we see nothing again. And then when we see nothing, we now start looking at the cloud view. When we are coming down again, we'll start looking down. All right. That's the same way objectively we should deal with businesses. We should be able to take ourselves off the business ground and then be able to look at the business from a helicopter view to be able to find what problems really exist. Okay. What problems really exist. All right. That's very, very important. So through helicopter viewing, consultants or managers can raise their attention above their everyday activities and take a wider view of the company as a whole. Once they imagine themselves aloft, they can look down at the business below and tasks. So they look at things like what issues should be addressed, to what standard should they be addressed, and how to address them fully. All right. So these are some of the things that need to be done. All right. Now, one of the reasons companies get to hire consultants is because they believe that consultants will give that helicopter view. All right. And also, to some of us that are CEOs here, to some of us that are top level managers here, you need to once in a while take a break so that you can actually view your business from outside of the business premises. You could look at your business from outside of your business premises. And it is important to understand this. I'm going to say now, you must remain a customer to your business forever as that business exists. Whether you're the CEO, you're the MD, you're the GMD, you're the director, it doesn't matter. You must remain a customer. You must remain a client to your business, to your firm, to your organization, as long as that business exists. That will help you understand the pains of customers. That will help you understand all of the whole thing that will play around. Okay, I'm going to give us a simple example of what we mean. Now, when we started, or when we had our accreditation with Chartered Institute of Management Consultants, USA, okay, especially for those of us going for CIMC. Now, we noticed that, okay, CIMC have their own fees if you want to be chartered, and IPM have their own fees if you just want to be certified. Now, if you want to be certified in IPM, you either pay 65,000, that's for online training. You either pay 65,000 for associate or 85,000 for senior, right? But when we looked at it critically, we say, Kai, this will be a whole lot of load on the people. So instead of getting to pay this and pay that, I think it is better we get to offload our own cases and then let those who want to go for CIMC Chartered, they can have to pay just for manuals and then for attending the classes. And then they can go ahead and pay for their chartered certification. Why those who doesn't want to go for chartered can just go ahead and pay their normal dues? That is part of the consideration you have to give to yourself if you were going to be a customer to your business. The question is, if you were to be the one to buy your product at this point with the value associated with your business, will you buy it? If the answer is yes, then you're having a good client time with yourself as regards to your business. But if your answer is no, that means you have to take some time to reinvent and renovate on the business, right? That's where the helicopter view is very, very important. Be you an internal consultant or as an external consultant, you must take time to take a helicopter view or take a retreat once in a while to your business. All right. I think this is understandable. All right, so I'm going to take a little break, 1 minute break, and then in the 1 minute break, I would like to know if there is a question, if there is a concern, you just let me know. You could raise your hand, ask your question. I will take on those questions. If you want to put them in the chat room, I'll also take those things coming from the chat room. Please, if there is any question for me, please feel free to ask those questions and take those things down. If there is any area you don't understand, please feel free to ask me. I will make sure I take them and we'll proceed. All right, please be reminded that this class is streaming online. So feel free, as in on YouTube rather. So in case you have any issue connecting from here, please feel free to use the YouTube. Just search for IIPM International on YouTube, then subscribe, and then you can view all the live sessions. All right. Okay, it's like I saw a question or something, comment in the chat room. Okay, is there a particular certification for business analytics? Okay, yes, there are organizations that offer certifications on business analytics. Okay, but in IIPM, we don't really offer certifications in business analysis. Rather, we have strategic business management as a course, and under it also you do business mechanics, business analysis, right? Okay, so if there is no question coming in right now, we'll proceed. Okay, so the next thing we are going to look at is vision and planning. Vision and planning. Vision and planning. Vision and planning. And please, I would like to hear from everyone here in the chat room or by raising of hands. What is actually your reason? What do you want to achieve by coming for this program? What do you want to achieve with this certification? What do you really want to achieve? How can we help you? Apart from the training and all of that, what do you really want to achieve? Let's use the chat room. And if you want to go ahead and raise your hand, please go ahead and raise your hand. Vision analysis is critical in business, is critical in life. Planning is critical in business, is critical in life. So whether you are consulting or not, that doesn't really count here now. But we must justify the objective basis for vision. Okay, the objective basis for vision, the objective basis for vision and planning. All right, so I am expecting in the chat room, what is your vision for coming to this class? What do you want to achieve by coming to this program? This is an executive-based program, so there is no exam. At the end of the day, is purely executive, so there is no exam to write. You have your manuals. The essence of your manuals is to refresh yourself and then be able to get those practical hand-on guides that will help you as a consultant, either EI or whatever one you choose. Okay. All right. So I'm expecting in the chat room, what do you want to achieve here? EI, CIMC, what do you want to achieve? Hope my question is clear. Okay, all right. So if I'm still seeing people's names here. So I can see Mr. Clement, I can see Mr. Collins, I can see Mrs. Comfort, I can see Mr. David, I can see Mr. Ebong, I can see Mrs. Faith Bauer, I can see Folashadi Daniel. So I can see, wow, that is awesome. I just saw my mom in this class. That is good. My mom is coming to my class. Please make sure she pay. Okay. Okay. So what really do you want to achieve? I can see Mr. Jide, Mr. Timothy. You have been one of the major persons that have been on our neck for this course. Okay, so to enhance my consulting skills, that's from Grace Ojo. So who else had? We really need to have this. These things well defined, you know. Is that where there is no vision, the people perish. So we must be definite about what we want to achieve, so that if we got from it to the right or to the left, you will know and call attention that I will see what brought me here. Okay, so I'm still expecting. Grace Ojo said to enhance my consulting skills. Okay, can we get to be a little less serious for now so that we can interact? Because it's like we are very serious now. Yeah, we are becoming very serious. Can we have some little interactions to be a better consultant? Okay, so let's get to be a little more flexible. Maybe I've been so formal to build an HR and non-profit consultancy. Okay. To increase my knowledge on the subject matter, first for my personal effectiveness and to enhance the productivity of my clients. Okay, thank you. Okay, it's important for us to know that this class, though is a formal class, but it should be interactive, right? It should be very, very interactive. Okay, so someone said to learning and expanding my capacity as a leader and aspiring consultant. Okay. Okay, I want to ask a question. In this case, I will need voice. I will need voice. For those of us consulting now, what are you consulting in? Or perhaps to avoid issues, if you don't want to use voice, just put it in the chat room. And those of us aspiring to consult, what do you want to consult in? For those who are currently consulting, what are you currently consulting in? For those aspiring to consult, what do you intend to consult in? Okay, so I have someone who said HR and non-profit consultancy, all right? Okay. Let's get to be a little more flexible so that we can be free. From David Omonogo, he said to get the right knowledge on how to help organizations and businesses thrive, all right? I'm currently consulting in retail. Okay, that's from Mr. Collins Wosu. All right, consulting in retail. Who else is consulting here? Because this thing will help us. We need the consultants. Consulting. Please note, this is not a bias class, so that those of us in EI will not feel like, oh, this class is only for consultants. Remember, as an EI, you're already an aspiring consultant. Okay, currently consulting in insurance and investment. Okay, HR and business consultancy, love that. Okay, now that we are talking, what are the major challenges we faced as consultants? Feel free to discuss with us, because as a matter of fact, my assignment here should be facilitation, not teaching. Of course, everyone should agree with me on that. My assignment, or our assignment here, is facilitation, not teaching. So let us not make it so formal that we won't be able to get the major things that brought us here. Okay, so from Stephen Fosu is an SME consultant. Okay. Okay, so as a consultant, what has been your major challenges? Looking at it from the business side, what has been your major challenges as a consultant? Can we interact? Just some little. Okay, Grace Ojo said to attract corporate clients. Oh, I will agree with you on that. I will definitely agree with you on that. Okay, so to attract not just corporate clients anyway, but to attract clients in the consulting field is a very delicate work. All right. So, which other challenges do we face as consultants? David, what challenges do you face as a HR and business consultant? Mr. Fosu, what challenges do you face as an SME consultant? Grace Ojo, what challenges do you face as an insurance and investment consultant? So what challenges do we really face? Okay, from Abubakar, I said to add value to the client. Okay, what challenges do we really face? Because those challenges are things that we must be able to they are the things we must be able to put attention to, and then leave here with the assurance that this particular one I can be able to fix it. All right, from Abraham Thompson, he said that to meet client satisfaction. All right, okay. Okay, so whichever and whatever be the challenge you could be facing currently as a consultant, we should be able to find the solutions after the end of this program. All right. Okay. From Stephen Foss, the major challenge is potential clients buying into your offer. Okay, buying into your services. Okay. From Collins, he said the instability, okay, unstable government policies. Wow, those are critical challenges. So then Falasha, they say, as an emerging leader, to be able to use emotional intelligence to understand and bring out the best in people I work and relate with. All right. So we have different challenges. Some of us have the challenge of finance. Some of us have the challenge of technology. Some of us have the challenge of human resources. Some of us have the challenge of facility. Some of us have the challenge of actually identifying who this customer that we want to sell to, who this person is really is. Some of us have those challenges. Some of us have the challenge of, we have several challenges coming our way. Some of us have the challenge of structure. Okay, challenge of structure. Okay, some of us have the challenge of fee. Yes, like Mr. Suleiman rightly said here. Some of us have the challenge of pricing. Okay, so all of these challenges are, in fact, challenges are unique, dependent on your kind of consulting. All right, the kind of consulting you do. Okay, someone mentioned here unstable government policies. Of course, if you are consulting with government, you should be ready to face all of those instability in government. Well, I may not know about all the whole governments of the world, but naturally, governments of the world, all of them have similar characteristics of bureaucracy. Okay, bureaucracy is common to government. Bureaucracy is not corruption. Please note it too. Bureaucracy is just the process of ensuring that the right things are being done, right? So every government of the world have the attribute of bureaucracy. And that attribute of bureaucracy makes time. It saps time. So something that could be done in 1 day could actually end up being done in 3 months because of what bureaucracy. All right. And all of those things affect us also as consultants. Okay. Then another thing that also could be a challenge is just the challenge of personal culture. Personal culture. Personal culture. What I believe in and what I don't believe in. In fact, it is one of the major things that affect businesses critically. Personal culture, especially as consultants. I believe in this. Okay, so because you believe in this, any other person that doesn't believe in that, you see the person as, oh, I shouldn't be able to. Okay, will you agree with me that there are some people naturally, based on religion, maybe this one is a traditionalist, this one is another kind of religion, and this one is seen a traditionalist as not being a good person for his business. Of course, personal biases forming hindrances to our businesses. All right, so we have to pay attention to that. Now, but importantly, if I should tell you the number one problem of every consultancy business and every business, be it consulting or not, and every career and every home and every other thing, the primary business, the primary challenge of every setup is inability to secure vision and inability to plan. Every other thing that is being said here as a challenge, they all boil down under the length and breadth of your vision. They all boil down under the length and breadth of your plan. They all boil down under the length and breadth of what you see and what you do not see. They all boil down under the length and breadth of what you've said you will do and what you will not do. So that makes vision and planning very critical tools in advancement at all levels. Basic life advancement, personal advancement, career advancement, business advancement, any form of advancement. And we must understand this very, very importantly now. Now, if you are living a life that you cannot categorically say what your vision for living is, then there is a challenge somewhere. And there is one thing with people who doesn't have vision. People that don't have vision, everything is a problem to them. They complain quite a lot. They complain more than the people that have problems. So if you don't have a vision, frustration is basic as a characteristic of such life. If your business is not growing, is not striving, go back and ask yourself, what is actually the vision? Because that will help. Okay, that will give you a standard. Now, what is, you want to start an SME consultancy firm. what is the vision of that SME consultancy? You want to start a HR consultancy. What is the vision of that? You want to start a coaching and training consultancy firm. What is the vision? You want to start an EI consultancy firm. What is the vision? Without vision, it is difficult to know where you're going. Without vision, strategy cannot be formed. So everything we are saying here, listen to me where we started from. We said the foundation of consulting has to be on experience, has to be on knowledge, has to be on skills, has to be on proactive thinking, and all of those things. But importantly, to make the most use of your consulting experience, you must have a vision. You cannot do without vision. Okay, you cannot do without vision. So in case you have never bothered to ask yourself, what is my vision? You have to sit down and ask yourself that question. And please, I always lay emphasis on this. I used to tell people, I said, the day you discover your vision and start working with it, poverty will leave you forever and ever. Forever and ever. The day you discover your vision for existence, or the vision for your business, or the vision for your career, the day you discover it, why others are crying, you'll be smiling. Because why? You know exactly where you're going. So, irrespective of government instability, irrespective of cost of consulting, irrespective of culture and all of that, we must drill deep to finding out what the real problem is. And the real problem is, where there is no vision, the people perish. That's the real problem. Where there is no vision, the people inevitably perish. Okay, so we must pay attention then to vision. And having discovered what the vision for your outfit or firm or your personal self is, then you must sit down to make the necessary plans. Some of us could have heard of the 80-20 Pareto principle. In reverse, some of us do 20-80. The principle is 80-20, but in reverse, some of us do 20-80. And what is the 80-20 principle? It's very, very simple. The 80-20 principle, in the case of vision and planning versus your corporate achievement, the 80-20 principle says you should take your time, take 20% of your time to discover what your vision for starting this business is, discover your vision while taking this course is, discover why you must be a certified emotional intelligence expert and a certified management consultant. And then as soon as you find out that, then the next thing is plan on how to get it. Vision without a plan, remains just a wish. Vision without a plan is just a mere wish. Okay, vision without a plan is just a mere wish. Planning is commitment to vision. Planning is committing yourself to discovering the actions, to discovering the behaviors, to discovering the processes, the approaches, the strategies that you will use to achieving or getting to that vision you've seen. So 20% of all of vision discovery and planning will give you a whole range of 80% of greater achievement. But the situation is that people enter into a life assignment and hoping that one day they will get to discover the vision. So they use 80% of their efforts trying to get 20% results, which makes the whole thing frustrating, which makes the whole thing exacerbating, which makes the whole thing discouraging, disappointing. You know, we are now in the era of smart work. I will need everybody to listen to me attentively. We are now in the era of smart work, smart working. That's where we are. How do we cross the river? They say when we get to the river, we know how to cross it. That's not where we are now. You cross the river before you get the river. That's where we are now. Smart work. How do we cross the river? We cross it before we get to the river. And that is the propelling force of vision. A man of vision doesn't see obstacles. He sees opportunities. A man without a vision sees obstacles and never opportunities. So, and it is to every man according to what you see. Whatever thing you see and believe becomes your reality. It is to every man according to what you see. Any time you see somebody complaining, it's just that he has not seen a better side of that challenge. And that's why you see very enthusiastic leaders, emotionally intelligent leaders, blazing the trail. Because why? They are running on vision, not on challenges. They see challenges as a stepping stone to advance. Why those of us that may not really have discovered what vision is all about? We keep complaining. We complain about salary today. Tomorrow we complain about job description. Next tomorrow we complain about our colleague. The other people with vision don't have time for complaint because they have enough work on their head that they don't even know what is what again, except what they are focusing on. And one thing with vision is that vision gives you the highest power for inspiration, for encouragement, for motivation, for life itself. Vision gives you the highest level of motivation to live. Okay, so vision is critical. Planning is a very veritable tool to draft the map on how to get to vision. Now, but listen to me again. You can take your time and discover your vision, take your time and discover your, write down your plans. But if you don't commit to the plans, oh, you will not see any result at all. The result we're expecting is 80%. If you use 20% of your resources, 20% of your time, 20% of your connections to be able to discover your vision and then be able to draft out a plan, and at the end of the day, you didn't commit in actions, in commensurate pursuit to that plan, you will not see 1% result, much more of 80%. You know, some of us are where we are, not because we don't have a vision, not because we don't have a plan, but because we are not committing to the plan. Some of us have plans for our life. I love that. But the question is, where is the plan? Some of us don't know where the plan is. We don't know where the plan is. We don't know where the plan is. We don't know. But we have a plan for our lives. Like if I ask here now, how many of us actually read through the plans of their life all through this week now? Some of us will say, I actually read through it in my mind. Some of us will say, oh, I didn't read through it, but I know I was going to read through it. Some of us could be like, okay, actually, to be so sincere, I don't want to lie. I don't really have anyone at the moment. And the question is, do you really want to advance? If you really want to advance, if your answer is yes, then you must commit to your plans. Some of us are in this class because it is part of our plans to advance. Some of us are in this class because someone told us about this class and we felt like, okay, let's come and see what they are doing. Some of us actually came, no one recommended us, no one told us about it. We just stumbled into it on the internet and we registered and we're here. Life without a vision will be miserable, irrespective of whatever thing you have. Now, a vision without a plan is disastrous. Now, a plan without equivalent action, there will be no result anywhere. You will only be seen as a promising young man, promising young woman, promising firm. But without commensurate result, we will not see those promises. So to get those promises delivered, right, we must pay attention to taking up the necessary steps. And some of us that are afraid of failure, no, I don't want to be to fail. Like some people came to this class now, it's okay. I have not started because why? I don't want to start and I'll fail. The truth is, you must start and fail and then learn from your failures. That's part of the commitment to the plan. Your plan can never be perfect. Your plan is just a blueprint that tells you, okay, if I try this, it will give me a result. The result should be positive or negative. Then I will rework it. I will innovate on it. I will be more creative. You can only learn to fail less if you learn to act more. I will repeat that again. You can only learn to fail less. You fail less if you learn to act more. The more you act, the less you fail. The more you act, the lesser you fail. The more actions you take in your plans, the more the probability of advancing towards your success. The lesser actions you take on your plans, the more failure you're going to be facing. So we must pay attention to what? To vision, to planning, and to committing to the plan. So vision begins when someone says, why not? To a highly ambitious idea, then follows this up with the courage and conviction to turn that vision into reality. An essential part of this process is a willingness to explore ambitions, ideas, and dreams for the future. Both hearts and minds have to be drawn into a discussion about your vision. Both your heart and your mind must be drawn into it. All right. I am taking time to talk about vision as though it's the only thing about consulting or about emotional intelligence. No, the truth is that it is the major driver to every other thing we'll talk about. It is the major driver to any other thing we'll talk about. And if the only thing you could achieve today is to be able to identify your vision for existence as a consultant or as a career person, if that's the only thing you want to achieve today, I think I'll be much more delighted, all right, to help you achieve that. Okay, I will repeat this again. If you discover the reason why your business is existing or must exist, money will never be a problem to you. Getting the right resources will never be a problem to you. Getting the right network of people will never be a challenge to you. But where there is no vision, it is simple. It's the people perish. If your business is struggling, you have to go and do vision analysis. Just shut down the business and go and do vision analysis. I was in a training some times ago, and the speaker said something. He just came into the business, to the class where we are learning about product development that day. It was still on business management. And he said in the class, he said, after this class, some of you will shut down your businesses and go and do analysis of your business before you relaunch the business, and whether you decide whether to relaunch the business or not. It sounded like a joke to some of us, but the truth was that after we were done with vision analysis in that class, everybody had to rethink their businesses, because the truth is, over 90% of people that start business never start with vision. They only start with profit in mind. So if you ask someone, what is your vision? He said, in 2020, I should be able to make $1 billion. That's the vision. That's not a vision. That's a target. We should know the difference between target and vision, all right? By 2035, I should have had 50 staff. That's not a vision. How does having 50 staff impact on your client? How does having 50 staff impact on the economy, general economy? How does having 50 staff impact on the international market? How does having 50 staff impact on these people that you call staff? How does having 50 staff impact on everything around the business? This is what we call vision. How does 50 staff help in getting better work done for the client? So we must understand the concept of vision. We must understand the concept of vision and concept of planning. Some of us need to reduce this I am too busy, and take out time, especially now we are going into break. Take 1 week, 2 weeks, sit down in your room, lock yourself inside, tell them nobody should disturb me. I need to make some discoveries. Take time, read all you need to read. Take time, search all you need to search. Come up with a conclusion so that by 2021, it will not be business as usual. You must make a decision to yourself and say 2021 won't be business as usual. I am going to reinvent my vision. I am going to discover my vision. I am going to plan on it. I'm going to have a strategic plan on how to go about this vision. I am going to start networking with the right people. I am going to start attending the right conferences. I'm going to start attending the right workshops and all of that. And by the time you put all of these things with strategic alignment, oh my God, 2021, you'll be flying on the eagle's wings. You see, I need corporate clients. Why is it that I'm not really getting corporate clients? That's a very good question to ask. So take your time, go to the drawing board. What is my vision? Does my vision cover corporate clients? If your vision does not cover corporate clients, then there is no need trying to find them. But if your vision covers them, good. So one issue solved. Now, next question. What is it about my product? Does my product solve the need of these people I consider as corporate clients? Next question. If it solves it, okay. Before we ask that second question, actually, we should ask the question, what are the needs of these people we call corporate clients? Or what are the needs of the clients generally, be it corporate or not? Now, what do I have to solve their problem? Okay, then you come and ask yourself, oh, let's assume you have the right target audience. You've already identified their problems. You have the right solutions to their problems. The question is, what then is hindering my service from getting to them? Or perhaps you've written to them severally and they are not responding. Question, why are they not responding? What is it about my proposal? What is it about my marketing that is making this whole exercise futile? You must find those things out. Take 10%, 20% of your time and resources, do the right research, go for the right training, find out why it's happening such way. And then by the time you find the answer, they will be the one looking for you. And let me be very sincere with you. Let me be very sincere with you. I need you to listen to me very well, though. Hey. Your vision can make you a struggler or make you a celebrity. I'll repeat this again. Your vision as an organization, as a person, as a married person, as a family, can make you either a struggler or a celebrity. This thing I just said now is important. Vision either attracts people to you, repel people from you, or drags you to people. Vision either attracts people to you, or repel people from you, or moves you away from some people. Now, if your vision is scheduled to attract people to you, then you become a celebrity. If your vision is scheduled to repel people from you, and you will be the one always struggling to get to them. You will always be the one struggling to get to them. You will always be the one struggling to get to them. You will always be the one struggling to get to them. So for us to advance and reduce stress in our businesses and in our careers, we must have a vision that attracts people to us. Not one that we must go talking to people about it. Not one that when people hear about it, they'll be like, hey, I don't want to be associated with this. What is your vision? As a business, as a career person, do your analysis on your vision. Is it repelling people from you, or is it attracting people to you? You must find out too. Very soon, for those of us that will be doing the management consultants, we're looking at branding and we'll look at brand leadership. Maybe we'll understand a little more about it. There are businesses in the world that they need to come to you before you know them. There are businesses in the world that they don't need to come to you before you know them. That's what we are talking about. Your vision, is it one that you have to go and meet people before they know you? Or is it one that people will just know you? People will just be searching till they find you. What is the dimension of your business vision? What is the dimension of your career vision? What is the dimension of your marriage vision? Okay? These things are very, very important. These things are very, very important. Okay. Let me be sure that someone is understanding what I'm saying, because this is very, very critical. Now, if you have a question around vision and planning, please, first of all, if you understood what I actually said, please, you can go ahead and put yes in the chat room. If you did not understand it and there is a place you want me to lay emphasis on, please also use the chat room and state the place I need to make emphasis on, and then we'll proceed. If you understood it really well, just say yes. If there is some place you want me to make emphasis on, just put and then I will also clarify those areas. Okay, I'm only seeing 2 yeses in the chat room. If you understood where we are coming from, say yes. If you're not, please state the area, and then I will make sure I explain those areas. Okay, so since there are no questions coming in right now, maybe by the end of the class, we'll take all the questions. Now, the 5 questions, the following 5 questions can stimulate a debate about vision. The first is, what are the essential strengths of companies' products and services? What qualities can be associated with these strengths? What qualities rather should be associated with the company's work? What does the business contribute to the society? What would be an ideal contribution in 10 years' time? What would be an ideal contribution in 10 years' time? All right. Then another important thing when developing vision is the mission statement. The mission statement. The mission statement is a short reading statement describing what the company wants to achieve in the future. It indicates the company's intents and purposes. It is different from vision because it addresses a 5-year period and is an attempt to focus big pictures for the future into more specific areas of activity. Mission statement is the summary of the company's long-term goals. Mission statement is the summary of the company's long-term goals. So mission is part of the component of vision. So what is your mission? What is your mission? The mission statement offers direction to business activity rather than detailed goals. It takes the form of 30 to 50 word statements summarizing long-term aims. The best mission briefly describe the who, what, when, where, and how of the firm in positive and even inspiring terms. Examples of mission statement. Our mission is to operate in the following markets: building, construction, containers, and delivery. Another example, our products are the best and we put our client first. We aim to provide all our employees with job security, work satisfaction, training, and above average remuneration. So what is your own company's mission statement? Now quickly, let's look at defining mission statement. Let's look at defining mission statement. Once the composition of a group to formulate the mission statement is decided, the members should begin to define the firm's mission in terms of the geographic area or country in which the firm runs or offers its business, then the quality of the firm's product and services, the firm's financial goals and ambitions. Okay, someone is writing on my screen. All right. Okay, so the decision should be on the geographical area or country in which the firm runs or offers its businesses, the quality of the firm's products and services, the firm's financial goals and ambitions. Now we have strategy development. Strategy development. How do we plan to get there? What are we, or where are we rather, and where do we want to go to? Now these are the basic questions that surround strategy development. And I want us to note something. Strategy is also part of vision and planning. Strategy development is part of vision and planning. Okay, so where are we and where do we want to go to? That's vision, proposition. So where are we? Okay, this is where we are. Where do we want to go to? Where we actually want to go to is the vision. Okay, how do we want to get there? Is the plan. So strategy development combines the vision and the plan together. All right. Setting goals. Setting goals. I also want us to understand something. Without vision, it is practically impossible to set goals and objectives. Goals should be set so that visions can be achieved. Okay? Goals should be set so that visions can be achieved. So without vision, it is practically impossible to set the right goals. It is practically impossible to set the right goals. And without goal, you cannot live each day. So goals are the basic forms of vision that help us live each day, live each moment. All right? So without goals, vision is far. And without vision, we cannot set the right goals. So the next step to developing or to develop goals, which will bring the mission statement into reality. These goals should be fairly general and answer the questions. What can we achieve in the next 5 years in each of the 5 business areas? The goals identified should be checked for contradictions. The goals should be checked for contradictions. The goals should be checked for contradiction. Okay, so let's assume that your vision for existence is to provide quality education to providing quality education for all. Let's assume that that's your vision, providing quality education for all. Okay, so what is the mission statement? The mission statement could be we ensure quality education through effective curriculum development, training and improvement of staff and all of that. But what are the goals? Goal will now set you on tasks or what you need to do on daily basis, on weekly basis, on monthly basis, on half yearly or yearly basis. All right. So goals number one. Goal number one. Yes, you set out to actually provide quality education, maybe to Africa, to Africans rather. But goal number one could be write a business plan, draft an effective business plan. That could be goal number one. After you've achieved goal number one, goal number two could be register the, decide on the name of the venture you want to go into and register it. That is another goal. Goal number three, recruitment of staff, maybe recruitment of 5 staff to start with. Goal number four, decision on facilities to be used, startup facilities. All of these now form goals. Now, in the next 1 month, what is the goal? In the next 2 months, in the next 3 months, in the next 4 months, in the next 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 50 years, 100 years, 200 years, 1,000 years, if you really can see as far as that, and if it is unlimited. So what are the goals? You keep writing them down. And that's why vision remains the same, but goals keep changing. Visions remain the same, but goals keep changing. All right? All right. Okay, 5 business areas that are very important. All of us must put attention to as consultants, irrespective of whichever one you find yourself. You have people, finance, marketing, facilities, and products and services. People, number 1, finance, number 2, marketing, facilities, products, and services. For people, this area refers to both executive and non-executive staff members within the business, as well as the administrative and management systems that are used to run people. Product and services refers to what the business makes or does in order to generate income. Finance, this refers to the company's assets and liabilities, as well as the system of controls in place to manage its resources and maintain its viability. Facilities, this area refers to the geographical location, physical environment, as well as equipment, electronic networks, and machinery. Marketing and sales refers to the efforts used to develop the company's brand recognition, increase its market share, and enhance its relationship with the customers. Please, this person, Razaki Lawal, you are writing on the screen. So please, can you stop scrolling your mouse or stop flipping through the screen so that we don't keep having these write-ups. All right. Thank you for your sincere understanding. Rasaki Lawal. Okay. Okay, so I said marketing refers to the efforts used to develop the company's brand recognition, increase its market share, and enhance its relationship with the customers. Now, what are the 5 external forces that can affect businesses, right? Irrespective of what kind of business you are into. So you have government, you have social values, you have technology, you have consumer need, you have competitors. Of course, government is a major regulator of business, irrespective of the kind of business you want to go into. Every business must be registered. If you want it to be legal, then it must be registered. By registering it, you're already following a government laid down policy, right? And all of those government standard, government rules, and all of that. Now, sorry, I want to ask a question. How many of us know how much is dollar to naira? Please, if you know, just help me put it in the chat room. You know how much is dollar to naira? Please help me put it in the chat room. How much is dollar to naira? Help me put it in the chat room. Okay, let's see. Okay, some say 480, 475, 500, 595, 503. Okay, thank you for answering me. Okay, now, what is CBN saying is the rate of dollar today? CBN rate of dollar today. Can somebody please help us? Can somebody please help us? CBN dollar rate today. Okay, so somebody said 390, somebody said 370. Okay. Now, if you want to buy anything online now, dependent on the website you are buying, okay, the list of what you could pay is 485. So 485 is what the international community is recognizing as the standard. But we still have government that is telling us that we are to pay 380. Now, I want to tell you practically how this can actually affect businesses. Now, there was someone who took a course with us some times ago. I think the person is from Dubai or so. Maybe there are also other people from Dubai here. Don't follow that person. Okay. Okay. Now, the person was to pay in dollars, but unfortunately, the person's credit card was not being accepted on the platform. So the person had to do, is it Western Union or something like that, transfer? And as of the time the person was to make payment, dollar was about 450. That's the international rate. But the person googled CBN and found out that CBN was doing 370. And the person insisted that he must pay 370. Okay, instead of 450. Now, without having any doubt, that is a practical implication of how government instituted policies can affect our businesses, whether you believe it or yes. There had been some CBN rules in recent time. Those of us that do international transaction, there was, I think I'm not sure it's up to 2 or 3 months that I received this information from my bank that you cannot really do above 100 USD per day, per transaction. I was wondering, what's the meaning of this? And then at a time, they increased it to 200 USD. I was wondering. I said, okay, so what if I need to pay for value, what up to $5,000? So I have to keep doing $100, $100. For how many days will I have to do that? And like a joke, we were running an advert on Facebook. Just follow me. We are running an advert on Facebook. And at the end of the day, the advert was almost $500. And we needed to pay and we couldn't pay. And it was so outstanding. It was so funny. Like, what is the challenge? Facebook will tell you that your payment is declined. It's not as though there is no money. There is money, but you can't pay. Now, at the end of the day, we had to start finding solutions. At the end of the day, we contacted Facebook, and Facebook did their own and found out that, oh, there is a limit on your account. You cannot go beyond $100 per day. I was like, are you kidding me? Okay. Now, from that perspective, they say, okay, call your bank, let your bank increase the limit. So we called the bank and said, this is what challenge we are facing right now. Can you increase the limit? Bank said, no, we can't increase the limit. This is what CBN says. I was like, are you serious? So you are limiting our transaction. The truth is, these people, these other countries, do you also limit their transactions to Nigeria? Or do you limit their transaction inflow to our own country? So for like 3 months, we couldn't do anything. And we'll ask Facebook, can we break down the money, maybe $100, you split it so that we'll pay it individually. That was the solution that we actually had to get at the end of the day. They had to break down the payment, $100, $100, $100, $100, to we were able to finish the payment. But that was quite frustrating. So government policies can, in a long way, affect businesses, whether you believe it or yes. Whether you believe it or yes. Whether you believe it or yes. Then another important thing that affect businesses also, external factors and social values. Social values. Social values of culture, social values of norms. They also affect businesses. Okay, then you have technology. I don't think I need to bother my head so much about talking about technology. But there was a series we started recently. We started a series on cryptocurrency discussion and all of that. And it has actually been a wonderful discussion. Why we are talking about cryptocurrency today is because of technology. Why we are talking about e-money, why we are talking about e-cards and all of that is because of technology. Technology has brought an irreversible disruption to the economy. Technology has brought irreversible, when I mean irreversible disruptions to the economy. And you know, for those of us that still fight change, you wear your boxers, you wear your singlet, you jog, and then you wear your trainers, and then you keep fit. I say, what are you? They say you're fighting change. That could be one of the worst mistakes you ever make. All right, that could be one of the worst mistakes you ever make. I would rather research and find information on trends and try to find a way to equip myself for the future, rather than trying to fight the future. Fight the future. You can only relapse a change for a while, but change cannot be taken away completely. And I've also said this. There were so many contentions, and there had been so many contentions with the 5G network. 5G network. And the question I asked, I said, when we had 3G, was there any contention? There was no contention. When we had 4G, was there any contention? There was no contention. But the contention arising from 5G is that 5G was coming at the wrong time. 5G came when people believed that the end of the world has come. So 5G was the simplest way to do what? To end the world. That was, in fact, the fight against 5G had been on religious basis. And that's part of the social values. Let me be very sincere with us. The same way that we didn't approve 3G, approve 4G, that's the same way, somehow, someday, we'll get to find out that we are using 5G. And if they can even come up with another name, so that that's part of rebranding, they can come up with another name and say it is not 5G, it is not 3G, it is now something else. Nobody will query it. We just buy into it. If the answer says it's technology. Whether we believe it or yes, 5G is already working in several things we do. Artificial intelligence is powered by 5G. Okay, robotics, they are powered by 5G. Most of the online technologies we are using, they are powered by 5G. So if you're actually claiming not to be part of 5G, you're just actually somehow, we are just leaving ourselves out of the blues. Okay, we are getting out of the blues. All right, so technology should be embraced. We shouldn't fight it though. Stop fighting technology. Does it mean that when we see a technology that has a possibility of terrific, horrible impact, we shouldn't challenge that? We should challenge it. But the essence of the challenge is to get it better. How many of us know that part of the cancer that we all catch, everybody gets to have influence of cancer every day? How many of us actually know that part of that cancer is from the radiative element or radiative rays of the 4G and 3G? How many of us know about that? How many of us know that the skin cancer that most of us suffer is from the phones we use every day? It's from the tablet. How many of us know that those eye problems we face every day is because of the computer we use? How many of us know about that? How many of us have challenged the safety considerations in the technology we are using today? Okay, all of us know that if you use your car roughly, you're going to die in accident. But how many of us have challenged the production of cars? How many of us have challenged the production of airplane because it is going to lead to massive destruction? We should actually bring up safety rules, safety considerations that will make technology adoptions easier. Did you get what I just said? So if you have a case, let the case be rational rather than being on bias. All right. Then another external factor that determines business drive is consumer need. Somebody asked the question today, how do I discover my need or discover my niche rather? To discover your niche, you must first of all discover the customer needs. To discover your niche, you must first of all do what? Discover the customer needs, and then find out what volume of customers have that need. That will become a very good niche to work in, or a very good niche to service. And you know that customer needs are dynamic. Customer needs are not rigid. Customer needs are dynamic. Okay, they are not fixed. They are dynamic. I was just laughing over some things the other day. How many of us had those kind of attitude when they say you are going to run a course online? They'll feel like, oh, if I finish now, they will write a certificate online. How many of us had those kind of notion? Some of us refused attending online classes because we believe that the certificate will come and they will write it online. If you ever had such kind of notion, can you type 11 in the chat room? Just type 11 in the chat room. Let's see. He said, why are you not attending? He said the class is online. They will write online certificate. Huh? Okay. So I have one person who had those kind of notions. But I'm not sure it's only one person. There are quite a number of us. Then, if you mention online university, online course, online whatsoever, provided the study, they'll tell you, no, I rather go to, I would rather go to the physical environment. But do you see how things are changing now? Some of us now prefer to do our courses online. So you can actually stay here without visa, without traveling expenses, without any VAT and what have you. You can stay in your home and get Harvard certificate. You can stay in your home and get Edinburgh certificate. You can stay in your home and get IIPM certificate. Huh? You can stay in your home and get CIMC certificate. You don't need to go to US. What is the cause of this? It's because of the flexibility in customer needs. Customers need comfort. Customers need flexibility. Customers need, they want to have better experience. Okay, they want to have better experience. Okay, so that's very, very important. That's very, very important. Then another external factor that also affects what we do is called competitors. Competitors. In this class, for those of us doing consulting, in the consulting class, we'll look at competitor analysis, and then we'll also look at collaboration. Okay, we'll look at collaboration. We'll look at effective ways of managing competition without having to make it a red ocean approach, right? So we'll look at blue ocean, we'll look at collaboration, and look at business networking as veritable tools in managing our competitors. All right, that's very, very important. That's very, very important. All right. Okay. I trust we are learning gradually. I've explained most of these things, so we'll just read through them. Government, this area refers to political activity of sorts, vis-a-vis taxation, legislation, health and safety requirements, and even terrorist activities. They have social values. This refers to area of health, education, moral, ethics, and social class issues. When making major decisions about the business, awareness of social thinking is also essential. Technology, the impact of technology is increasing on all aspects of business. It refers not only to the innovative equipment, but also to the new application of database management, internet, and so on. That will have consumer need. This area refers to the consumers, who they are, what they want, and where they are located. This includes an awareness of the existing and potential needs, demographic shifts, changes in social values, trends, and so on. Then competition, this refers not only to those within the company's industry, but to all sources of competition like substitutes. Now, setting objectives. We will be taking a break by 1 o'clock, and then we'll be returning by 3 o'clock. We'll be taking a break by 1 o'clock, and then we'll be returning by 3 o'clock. We'll be taking a break by 1 o'clock, and then we'll be returning by 3 o'clock. All right. Okay. Setting objectives. From vision to mission to goals, planners consider the company's future in broad and general terms to ensure that specific actions are taken to achieve these ideas. Short-term objectives spell out the individual activities needed to develop each long-term goals. Goals or perhaps objectives should be consistent, specific, measurable, related to time, and attainable. So most often we use the keyword SMART, all right? Simple, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. So goals, objectives should be consistent, objectives should be specific, objectives should be measurable, objectives should be related to time, and objectives should be attainable. Now, commitment to quality standards. Before I go to commitment to quality standards, I would like to know, please, could there be any question for me? If there is any question for me, please, I would like to take those questions. Meanwhile, we could take 30 seconds break, and then we'll be back. 30 seconds break, and then we'll be back. All right, welcome back. So let's continue from where we stopped. We've looked at the 8 management essentials. We've looked at transforming the business. We looked at vision and planning, and we are proceeding to commitment to quality standards. Commitment to quality standards requires long-term thinking and the belief that the considerable investment needed will eventually bring worthwhile return. There are some of the benefits a quality plan offers. A quality plan offers customer satisfaction, improved brand image, increased and sustained sales, and then recognition as an industry leader. They will also look at total quality management as a tool for driving quality standards. Total quality management is far-fetching or far-reaching quality program which requires everyone within the firm to examine issues of quality performance. The firm committed to total quality management is customer-oriented and quality-focused, with every employee taking responsibility for this. For a total quality management model, it has 3 basic sides. You have the management commitment, you have measurement of quality, and you have the motivated workforce. So management must commit to the total quality management standard, and then there must be tools, processes, standards for measurement of quality, and then there must be a well-motivated workforce to be able to promote quality. Quality focused culture. As an organization, we need to have quality-focused culture. As an individual, we need to have quality-focused culture. To create a quality-focused culture, the firm should express a commitment to quality as part of the company's vision, develop a common language for quality, and provide ongoing education and training for skill development on the area of quality. All right. Now, benchmarking as a tool for quality management. Benchmarking as a tool for quality management. A benchmark is a point of reference which is used to evaluate or measure the achievement of a quality standard. In business, the term is widely used to refer to objective criteria which define best practice for an area of activity. Individual firms develop benchmarks in consideration or in cooperation with other companies. Individual firms develop benchmarks in cooperation with other companies. So those of them in the banking industry can develop a benchmark on how much they are going to be selling per dollar. They could develop a benchmark on how much they are going to be paying their staff, dependent on the category of staff. They are going to develop a benchmark on the kind of thing they call customer service, customer experience, and all of that. So benchmark could be a very credible tool for standardizing quality. It could be a very credible tool for standardizing quality. All right. All right, quickly, let's look at example of benchmark and the success it brought to the Xerox Corporation. Some of us know the Xerox Corporation. Xerox Corporation is a computer or an IT corporation that focuses on computer software and all of that. The case examines the benchmarking initiative taken by Xerox, the leading copier company in the 1980s. Xerox undertook benchmarking as a part of its leadership through quality program. The case discusses the benchmarking concept and its implementation in detail. The case discusses the benchmarking concept and its implementation in detail. Xerox uses benchmarking. Xerox uses benchmarking it to retain its competitive edge, to discover where something is being done with less time, lower cost, fewer resources, and better technology. The leadership through quality program introduced by Keynes, the CEO of the company, revitalized the company. The program encouraged Xerox to find ways to reduce their manufacturing cost. Benchmarking against Japanese competitors, Xerox found out that it took twice as long as its Japanese competitors to bring a product to market, 5 times the number of engineers, 4 times the number of design changes, and 3 times the design costs. Xerox found that the Japanese could produce, ship, and sell units for about the same amount that it cost Xerox just to manufacture them. In addition, Xerox product had over 30,000 defective parts per million, about 30 times more than its competitors. Benchmarking also revealed that Xerox would need an 18% annual productivity growth rate for 5 consecutive years to catch up with the Japanese. After an initial period of denial, Xerox managers accepted the reality. Following this, Xerox defined benchmarking as a process of measuring its product, services, and practices against its toughest competitors, identifying the gaps and establishing goals. Gradually, Xerox developed its own benchmarking model. This model involved 10 steps categorized under 5 stages: planning, analysis, integration, action, and maturity. So I have that here. Xerox collected data on key processes of best practice companies in the copier industry. These critical processes were then analyzed to identify and define improvement opportunities. For instance, Xerox identified 10 key factors that were related to marketing. These were consumer or customer marketing, customer engagement, order fulfillment, product maintenance, billing and collection, financial management, asset management, business management, human resource management, and information technology. These 10 key factors were further divided into 67 sub-processes. Each of these sub-processes then became targets for improvement. For the purpose of acquiring data, Xerox subscribed to management and technical databases referred to magazines and trade journals, and also consulted professional associations and consulting firms. Then we have the functional benchmarking. Xerox found that some processes or operations were not being practiced by copier companies. So benchmarking within the industry was not acceptable. So Xerox went beyond and adopted functional benchmarking. This involved a study of the best practices followed by a variety of companies regardless of the industry they belong to. Xerox identified or perhaps initiated functional benchmarking with the warehousing and inventory management system of LL Bean, a mail order supplier of sporting goods and outdoor clothing. Xerox zeroed in on various other best practice companies to benchmark each other process. This included American Express for billing and collection, Cummins Engines and Ford for factory floor layout, Florida Power and Light for quality improvement, Honda for supply development, Toyota for quality management, Hewlett Packard for research and product development, Saturn, a division of General Motors, and Fuji Xerox for manufacturing operations, and then DuPont for manufacturing safety. The first major payoff of Xerox's focus on benchmarking and customer satisfaction was the increase in the number of satisfied customers. Highly satisfied customers for each copier and duplicator and printing system increased by 38 and 39% respectively. Customer complaints to the president's office declined by more than 60%. Customer satisfaction with Xerox sales processes improved by 40%. Service processes by 18%. And administrative processes by 21%. The financial performance of the company also improved considerably through the mid and late 1980s. Overall customer satisfaction was rated at more than 90% in 1991. Now, what are the other benefits? Some of the other benefits Xerox derived were number of defects reduced by 78 per 100 machines, service response time reduced by 27%, inspection of incoming components reduced to below 5%, defects in incoming parts reduced to 150 parts per million, inventory cost reduced by 2/3, marketing productivity increased by 1/3, distribution productivity increased by 8 to 10%, increased productivity reliability on account of 40% reduction in unscheduled maintenance, notable decrease in labor costs, errors in billing reduced from 8.3% to 3.5%, became the leader in the high volume copier duplicator market segment, and country units improved sales from 152% to 328%. These were some of the other benefits that Xerox had to benefit by benchmarking. That is by using total quality management. Gathering data. In these groups, in general, rather, these groups gather data from companies in accordance with the following principles: confidentiality, intentionality, contact, and legality. That's basically why people get information from you. People get information, but they have to keep it confidential. Every information gathered has a reason for it. Every information gathered, especially, has to do with communication. So that's where the contact comes in. And every information gathered must have some legal terms and conditions surrounding it. So if you infringe on my confidentiality right and disclose my information, I have the right to sue you. And I also have that right not to sue you. Use of benchmark. A benchmark can be used in two ways: within an individual industry so that competitors can compare their performance against their competitors, or across a variety of industries so that a company compares specific areas of their industry's business practice against the way that leading firms in other industries perform in those areas. Establishing benchmark. Establishing benchmark. Establishing benchmark for management function and activities can be achieved by: 1, identifying which management area can benefit. Step 2, identifying the core skills and essential behaviors needed to serve that area. Step 3, identifying the recognized industry leaders for each area to be benchmarked. Then establishing a program of change to achieve new performance standards. Then monitor the change until the benchmark is achieved. Monitor the change until the benchmark is achieved. All right. let's quickly look at growth issues as regards to business. Businesses which lack a system for evaluating growth opportunities risk inventing time, money, and energy in mistaken ventures. This kind of firm grows by following a line of least resistance, by random chance, or by changing circumstances. Even if routine business is managed with extreme efficiency, underperformance results as growth issues are not managed. So for us to actually define what growth is, we must definitely define what the objective and goals are, so that with that we can say whether we are growing or not. The balancing act. Successful business leaders have the ability to shift their attention from short-term administrative needs to long-term strategy. When managers lack this essential skill, they can become bogged down with burdensome detail, or alternatively caught up in pursuit of unrealistic ideas. Balancing short-term and long-term needs. We have the administrative hour versus the strategy hour. Okay, so you have A, B, C, D. So you have different companies or different managers with the way they view administrative hours or administration hours with strategy hours. All right. So you have A, you have 5. So he gives 50% to administration, 50% to strategy development. Then you have B, 5-2. He gives 50%, assumedly 50% to strategy and just 2% to administrative. Then you have 5-1, 5% to administration and 1% to strategy. And then you have 3-3, 3% to administration and 3% to 3% to administrative hours. Okay, looking at this bar chart we have here, component bar chart. Which of these individual persons, A, B, C, D, do you think will be the most productive as a manager? Please write your answer in the chat room. A, B, C, D. Just give us your answer in the chat room. Who do you think will give more results from A, B, C, D? Who do you think will give more results? I trust we are still together. Okay, Grace Sojo says A. Okay, Benjamin says A. Okay. Please, we need more responses. Which manager do you think? Okay. Zuberu says B. Femi Gandono says A. Folashade says A. We need more responses. Who do you think should be a better manager here? Does it mean others are not hearing me? Please, we need more responses. Who is a better manager here? A, B, C, D. Who is a better manager? So I have much people saying A, and just it's like it's only A and B. Okay, another person says D. Okay. If I say C. Okay. All right. You know, this chart here exemplifies how people balance their work. Now, 50-50 means the same amount of time you give to administrative work is the same amount of time you give to strategic work. All right, which will make you completely stressed out. So you might not even have the time. B, you give 2% or 20% to administrative and 50% to strategic work. That means you learn how to delegate and have a good team to delegate to, who does the administrative, while you have more of the time to do the strategic work. Then this one, see, you have just 1 hour and you commit 50% to administrative work. You see, this C, this company will keep running round and round and round and round. Okay. Then you see this one, you commit 30% to this and 30% to that. Well, that sounds good. But what do you do with the other one? Okay. For a good manager, the best manager in this category is B. The best manager in this category is B, putting more time to strategic work and then delegating others to those in the administrative functions, delegating to others. He mustn't do everything by himself. All right. So if you find yourself in this category, in A, you could be worn out so easily. If you find yourself in D, you could be worn out so easily. If you find yourself in C, this one is typical of government work. C is typical of government work. You barely think anything out. You just do as you're saying, right? So if you really want to advance, then you must go through with B. All right, go through it. Okay, so manager A gives an equal amount of time to both administrative and strategy. In contrast, manager C gives only 1 hour to strategy and 5 hours to administration, because situations vary from business to business and from one management specialist area to another. It is not really appropriate to suggest an ideal balance for these two important management functions. The allocation depends on the specific needs of the organization and the job. Okay. Okay. Let's look at this example as we begin to round up. Let us look at total quality management by Toyota. Toyota, for those of us that may wish to work with or consult for Toyota someday, let's look at what Toyota does. Toyota Motor Corporation, popularly known as Toyota, is a famous global automaker headquartered in Japan. Toyota has a reputation for building quality vehicles at lower cost. In 2003, Toyota's market share increased 24% over 2002. The annual profit was of larger than the combined earnings of General Motors, Chrysler, and Ford. Then we have analysts estimated that soon Toyota would surpass GM in market share and become the largest automaker in the world. Now, what are the things surrounding Toyota's success? You have leadership, you have challenges, you have motivation, strategy, teamwork, vision, goal, and at the benchmark of it, or the bedrock of it rather, is management, right? The major contributing factors to the phenomenal growth is the Toyota's production system, TPS. This has 14 principles divided into 4 categories: philosophy, process, people and partners, and problem solving. These 4 categories take into account both the long-term and short-term aspect. The 14 principles are based on quality improvement techniques and psychology. The quality improvement methods are from lean production, that is just in time, Kaizen, one-piece flow, Jidoka, and the Heijunka. So if you did health, safety, environment with us, you would have learned about the just-in-time, the lean production process. And for those of us that did agile project management, you would have also learned about the just-in-time and the lean production process. The human motivation principles come under philosophy and contains leadership, teams, culture, and supplier relationship. Toyota's recall. At the end of 2009 and start of 2010, Toyota faced a crisis. The company had to recall 6.5 million in the US because of the problems of gas pedals. How did this happen in a company known for quality leadership? Quality had become a victim to the aspirations of becoming world number one. Toyota usually bought cars from a small group of Japanese suppliers who have been long-time partners with Toyota. However, with globalization and skyrocketing sales, Toyota widened its suppliers net all over the world. Toyota's problems. Employee involvement. Employee involvement is a critical factor in the Toyota quality management. This involves starting of quality cycles, employee participation in the quality decisions, responsibility of employees for quality, employee recognition for superior quality performance, effectiveness of supervision in handling quality issues, and ongoing quality awareness of the employees. However, Toyota did not do well in this aspect. In the TQM approach used by Toyota, the assembly line teams are responsible for the steps related to their own work. They are also cross-trained. They can stop the production line when they recognize problems, but had to obtain the approval from their superiors. This is a weak spot in the system. Whenever emergencies occurred, the Toyota team wasted time transmitting the information through the hierarchical levels. This time lag delayed decision-making and affected effectiveness. Supplier relationship. Supplier relationship is another critical factor of Toyota's total quality management. The vehicles recall expose the gaps in the company-supplier interface. In traditional Japanese companies, the relationship based on the Japanese credit system called the Kiritsu system. A Kiritsu system is a set of companies with interlocking business relationships and shareholdings. It is a type of informal business group. The Kiritsu maintained dominance over the Japanese economy for the last half of the 20th century. In Japan, the relationship with vendors goes much beyond the buy-sell transaction. They share the industry prospects and their own marketing target. However, Toyota's new cost-saving strategy, the CCC21, construction of cost competitiveness in the 24th century, targeted large-scale cost reductions on 170 components, accounting for 90% of the total component purchases. This put the cooperative partners under great pressure. In other words, if the suppliers wanted to continue their supply chain with Toyota, they had to accept the new prices specified by Toyota. Some of them could not match the new low prices. So Toyota extensively sought cheap overseas supplies. This action damaged the traditional credit system. To be more specific, it led to two problems. First, the pursuit of lower cost made quality a lesser priority. Secondly, the global spread of suppliers complicated the quality compliance process. Recommendations: employee involvement. To create an active working group, Toyota should transfer power to individuals at the lower rungs of the organization. Toyota should strengthen the relationship between each level and try to achieve equilibrium in the authorities of the team members. This culture should be made permeate throughout the organization. Toyota should create congruence between its TQM goals and the aspiration of the employees. Recent researches have proved that the development of encouragement and tracking system can push employee involvement. Toyota can make use of cross-functional quality improvement teams and quality cycles plus a framework of evaluation and reward system. One possible solution is to offer profit sharing and dividends. Such rewards can increase their satisfaction levels and enhance their motivation. For the supplier relationship, the recommendations are twofold. On the one hand, Toyota can expand its manufacturing depth and range to some degree. According to Smith and Greenwood, Toyota adopted a very close cooperative partnership relationship with its suppliers because the company could manufacture only a few of the parts and not the entire gamut. Toyota is responsible not only for the products of the in-house manufacturer, but also for all of the parts coming from the suppliers. As part of cost cutting, Toyota promoted commonality of components among various vehicles. This had a cascading effect. Mistake in one component was a virus affecting millions of vehicles. Audi and Volkswagen have a deeper manufacturing range. Most of their components are manufactured in-house. This gives a better grip over quality. Toyota was a virus. Sorry, did I go back? Toyota has to follow this part. Though this method cannot bring cost benefit, Toyota has to give a higher priority to quality. The specific method of manufacturing supplier of managing suppliers has three aspects: verify, standardize, and evaluate. Firstly, verify the suppliers list to ensure the quality of the supply. Then secondly, standardizing their manufacturing process to reduce the mistakes in production. Then thirdly, evaluating the products they offer. Toyota has to put all these three aspects in place. In conclusion, through TQM, Toyota has achieved a great height in low-cost, high-profit manufacture. They have to improve supplier relationship and then employee involvement. Multiple choice question. Customer satisfaction, improved brand image, increased sustained sales, and recognition as an industry leader are examples of dash. Let's have your answer in the chat room. A says total quality management, B says quality control of a product, C says commitment to quality standards, and D says motivated workforce. Just put A, B, C, or D in the chat room. And that is where we are going to be calling it today from today's class. Not today's class, the first session's class. So we'll be coming back. The general class is actually ending here. So the next class is going to be starting by 3 p.m. and that is for emotional intelligence only. Emotional intelligence only. And the next class for CIMC is going to be starting by 6 p.m. 6 p.m. 6 p.m. So emotional intelligence is going to be running from 3 to 5:45. And then CIMC is going to be started by 6, and that's going to be running till 9 p.m. All right, so while we anticipate the answers, ensure to sign your attendance. Okay, so somebody says A. All right, thank you for all the answers. Thank you for all the time. I think at this juncture, I would like to take questions if there are any. Could there be any question? Our general class for CIMs, for management consulting and emotional intelligence is stopping here. So the next classes are going to be, they are going to be specific. So we go to our different classes, right? So just check out your email or put a look at your email to be sure you have the right link for your class. And also check the WhatsApp group to be sure you have the right link for the class, for your own class. All right. Okay, so if you've not taken attendance, please ensure to take your attendance. And at 1 o'clock, I will be closing this class so that we'll meet again by 3. Okay, so we want to appreciate everyone here today. Essentially, we want to appreciate all the faculty members here. Mr. Abraham, Princess Adeze, Mr. Chidike Naman, Ikenna Okafor, Joseph Oluwaseyi, and Pastor Ifomezi. All the faculty members present, I want to say a very big thank you. Maybe from where you are, you could just say hi to the house as we begin to round up. Please, all faculty members, please feel free to unmute and say hi, and then we can proceed. Okay, I think you can say hi in the chat room anyway, just to manage time. So all the faculty members, just say hi to the chat room, and then we'll be out of here. Thank you so much. Faculty members, okay, thank you. Okay, so for the ones that we didn't, thank you so much for coming around. Okay, so in the afternoon session, the EI faculty will be joining the EI, or those of us in EI will join the EI faculty, and those of us for CIMC will join the consulting faculty. So at this juncture, men and brethren, we want to say very big thank you for joining us this wonderful afternoon. If you wish to get the manuals for your training, please, the manual for senior is 10,000 naira. Irrespective of whether you're doing EI or you're doing what do you call it? You're doing management consulting, and then the associate is 7,500, and you could pay to this account number 1020017-605, and that is a UBA account, and the name is Integrated Institute of Professional Management. Integrated Institute of Professional Management. All right.